Good afternoon, good morning. Hello. I was going to say good night, but that means we wouldn't be here together. I am so glad to be here again. It's been a minute, as we say. I've been tied up with some things and haven't been here for a while. But I just want to say I'm glad to be back. And you're with me today, Reverend Dr. Barian Staples. And I just want to say to you that you are part of an experience with Racing Cultures, Bridging the Divides. Racing Cultures, Bridging the Divides. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty ticked off. Yeah, I said it. I keep thinking about something. I'll get back to this again. Biblically, when people were claiming to call out Jesus and they were saying, teacher, teacher, and Jesus would turn around often and say, I don't know you. In other words, how many people truly know Caitlin Clark? So today's episode is going to be kind of lengthy. Like, this is what I'm always saying. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA, and the WNBA to me is a hot mess. I'm saying it again. It's a hot mess. Wow. That is a mouthful, isn't it? Well, I'm very angry, to be honest. How many people actually know who Caitlin Clark is? And I've talked about this before in the past. I know about Caitlin Clark through various reasons. When I was at Drake University, I knew Lisa Beluter, Jan Jensen, and Jennifer Fitzgerald, and also Jan's wife, Julie. And I've said many times, the product that Caitlin is has a lot to do with those women that she was surrounded with, in addition to the wonderful coach that she had in high school at Dowling High School. I know about Dowling High School. My kids ran on that track at Dowling High School. My good friend of mine, Bobby Hanson, played at Dowling High School, played for Utah Jazz and then the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, and he has a ring. I know about Caitlin. I know from when she has come. So people don't know about Caitlin Clark, but I'm going to just jump through some hoops today and kind of go through some intellectual things. I taught classes at the university level on race and ethnic relations, cultural diversity, and human relations, and of course, cultural competency, DEI issues. And this is the segue. This is the segue. When we talk about DEI, when we talk about multiculturalism, when we talk about these things, all this is intertwined with where Caitlin is right now in the WNBA. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I taught in my class and to give you kind of an idea. And I'm just going to just say this. We can't do anything in America without talking about race. Racism, bigotry, prejudice, even sexism, so on and so forth. Then we throw in other areas of gender, male, female. Then we have other issues, transgender issues. Then we have LGBTQIA plus concept. We have a host of things that is actually, I mentioned before, sports is a microcosm of what's going on in the greater society. Right now in our society, we have an incredible problem. We have an incredible problem. And I'll get in another session I'm going to do about Juneteenth and realizing that Juneteenth isn't what it's supposed to be about, freeing the slaves being free. That didn't happen. We had the black codes that came in, which is Jim Crow revamp. But I'll talk about it on the next episode or so, I think. But I just want to share with you that Caitlin is involved in a microcosm, not trying to throw blame or or saying other people right or wrong, but this culture that we live in right now in the United States of America is is right and rift with division, and we're dealing with racial issues where we know we're taking people that are black and brown, developing concentration camps, snatching people out of their homes on the south side of Chicago, that whole area that they raided for a, op for a video, something like that, for political reasons over in the South Shore district, going to that apartment building, ripping people's out of there, calling them gang members and all that kind of stuff. It was for political purposes, theater, as they call it. So I want to just take you down a walk with me to understand what I'm talking about in terms of race and how this is affecting the WNBA, Caitlin Clark as a female, and other women, black women, and white women. But we have to look at our society and see what's happening here. So I'm going to share this with you, and I want you to really pay attention. This here is what, when I taught my class, and actually I got to get credit. One of my mentors was the late C.T. Vivian, and he this whole concept of racial constructs in our country because of slavery. The dominant force in our country, and you can even look at Congress and look at the faces you see, predominantly white male, everything white men controlling the country. Now I'm gonna just say something. This is not an indictment on all white men. I'm just saying this white male construct has been what this country has been under. Then we have the next area, the white female. The white female is a secondary aspect of what we look at in terms of this pyramid that you see. Now, I mentioned DEI. The people who benefit the most from DEI, getting those contracts in terms of male and female representation of majority being women. Women were considered the minority. A lot of white women were part of that. Most of those contracts that benefited under DEI was white female. Next, under this pyramid, you see how it starts breaking down. We have the black male. Now, the black male has come with a whole lot of issues, and we see this in our country right now. The black male is being even more victimized, being held out of things, under attack. This whole administration is trying to deny black men, taking black people black men that have accomplished things in this society. He want to eliminate Jackie Robinson's from being recognized. So, but there's an issue here with the black male, and we look at the white female again. There is an interpsychic phenomena in this country where we have white women and black men that are connected together in great numbers. You see it all the time. Well, the white girl got a black boyfriend, the black, so on and so forth. But it also is the same where we have black women have white boyfriends and husbands because it's based on attraction and love, not because they're black, but because they're white, so on and so forth. And there's an interpsychic phenomenon I mentioned. The white female has always felt this oppression from the white male. The black male has felt this same oppression. There's an interpsychic connection that they have had from generations, understanding a sense of oppression. Now, this is going to cut into the WNBA, the other section here. The black female that I used to talk to my class about, they come under what we call the double jeopardy. They're being held back and being oppressed because they're black and because they're female. And I just make preference. I tell everybody, I never really use the term African American. That's for a lot of reasons that I don't get into yet. But the black female is going through this from our society. Federal jobs were gotten rid of by this administration. 300,000 plus of those jobs are black women. Y'all get the picture? So when we talk about the WNBA, we have to understand that black women, there was a study done by Patrick Monahan that talked about the black culture having a matriarchal society. A lot of black men, a lot of people want to get on black men not in home. Well, to be honest, a lot of black men had to go different parts and different areas of this country. They get jobs and send back money to their families because they couldn't get jobs somewhere. That's why a lot of black men weren't in the home. There's other reasons too, but keep this in mind. The black females has always been the strength of so many families. I can speak from that personally. So, of course, my mother was a lot of things, but so the women in WNBA are predominantly black females. Then you throw in this other caveat: a large majority of the women in the WNBA are, lack of a better term, lesbians or part of the LGBTQIA plus community. Some people want to become, I hear um, what's his name that does Fearless? Yeah, Whitlock. He's always talking about the scissor thing. He goes straight to the sexual concept of these women. That is not the case with me. Maybe another woman just loves the other woman. We don't have to get into the sexual behaviors all the time, but keep this in mind. A lot of women in the WNBA are black female that have come through some different things. Some of them are biracial, but that's the one drop rule. They may look black, but guess what? They have white parent. One of them might be white, but nevertheless, so we have these black females in the WNBA fighting hard to become recognized. And I'm going to just skip through the last category, and I get into that to another section. But the young black male between ages of 18 and 39, you heard of the concept from the school to the prison pipeline. That's because a lot of black men still to this day are involved with going straight from from their neighborhood right into prison because of this justice system that is not justice. Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder did a movie. I keep forgetting. Scared, not scared straight. Maybe that's it. But anyway, and I think that was so interesting. Richard Pryor made a comment. I went to the prison. I went to jail for justice. When I got to prison, I understood what justice meant. It meant just us. He was talking about the 85 to 90% of those prisoners that are locked up, men that are locked up, are black. So I kind of want to give you an idea of the racial constructs that we are dealing with and how that may be applicable to the WNBA, especially in terms of when we're talking about the black females. So keep that in mind about what I'm talking about here. Now, this is the picture. Let me see. This is what everybody has been talking about that leads me to this point. We saw with our own eyes. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Alyssa Thomas, the ball was already gone. So if you talk about a loose ball, I played basketball, balls on the ground, people going after the ball. There was no ball in sight. What was the ball that she was going for? She went right for Caitlin Clark. She went right for her. She punched down her neck. And there's one scene that you didn't that's not captive here. But De'Ronna Bonner also hit Caitlin with her right hand. She hit when Caitlin was on the ground. She hit her real quick and she turned the other way. And I think it was a shielding principle. Now you see Held, she's up there. Seems like she's trying to remove Alyssa Thomas off of Caitlin. I mean, when I saw this, I thought about my own daughters. and granddaughters. If I seen that as a parent or a grandparent, I would be livid. I'd be wanting to file charges. But then we now remember the game before there was some things that happened with DeWanna Bonner and of course Sophie Cunningham pointing her finger and at DeWanna Bonner. And DeWanna Bonner, there's issues with her. She went to the Fever on their team last year, but she didn't want to play. Her fiance is Alyssa Thomas there, and she got her money and she found a way to get onto the Phoenix Mercury. I believe in all sports being good, but when I see stuff like this, my mind click directly on that whole racial constructs I just shared with you. That we have black females that have a totally different perception. Now, we look at Alyssa Thomas, she might fit into that category I said, that a one drop rule. Is she really black, black, black? But she has to be called black because of the one drop rule. But this is the key, and I mentioned another game before when they were doing the pointing. The coach Tibbetts, he even made the comment that I told my team, we're going to remember what happened. I think that was on a Tuesday night or Friday night or whatever it was, the game before when they played, because they skipped the day and played the following day. And then he started saying they don't want to handle this smoke. I really feel that Tibbetts fed that fire of creating this aggressive attitude when those young ladies went into that game. And he's trying to act like Alyssa Thomas is innocent. And other people are talking about this. The truth shall set you free. Don't try to sugarcoat this. She did what she did. You can't, don't believe my lying eyes, right? She did it. She attacked Caitlyn. So how many people know Caitlyn? Why is this happening to Caitlyn? Well, I'm going to just share with you some quick clips of some things about Caitlyn and what is happening to her in her basketball career, and how we must kind of view some of these things. Caitlyn, who is she? What has happened? Let's go back and try to remember Caitlyn. Who is she?
Always bring up Field of Dreams when you think Iowa and sports, but Scooby, in recent memory, it's all about Iowa basketball and Caitlin Clark.
That is facts. I mean, I lived and worked in Iowa for 3 years, and the people out there love their Hawkeyes.
Gotta be woke.
So when Caitlin Clark took
Gotta
center
be
stage
woke,
in the
folks.
basketball world, it was like watching one of their own become a star. Here are some of Clark's best moments during her time in Iowa.
This is what we recall.
From West Des Moines, Iowa, number 22, Caitlin Clark.
All things are possible when Caitlin Clark has the basketball.
A deep one.
It's no joke.
Oh, what a pass!
Most of these women didn't have this kind of stardom.
Here's Clark. Fires a three. Counted. Was there any doubt?
Pulls it. Nails.
Are you kidding me? Clark for the win!
She does it time and time again. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history?
An extended left. Clark comes off a screen. Three-pointer. Swish. Left to the top of the key. And there it is.
New career high
For college basketball history.
On that shot, she not only had she already broken, Kelsey Plum's record for all-time leading scorer for women, but she also broke Pete Maravich's record for men in the NCAA. But Pistol Pete was my boy, in terms of how he played the game. Pistol Pete did not have a three-point line. They didn't have it back then. But just think if they had, because he could fire from half court too. I'm just saying, not to diminish what Caitlyn did. The points are the points. That's what they go by, the points. So Caitlyn broke both men and women and men's scoring record.
22 is now number 1.
The records broken this season for Caitlin Clark. Career points, single season points, career threes, single season threes. And Caitlin Clark
That's Lisa and Jan.
says goodbye to college basketball.
Her partner, Kate
So,
Martin.
Caitlin Clark, if you're
Oh,
out
yeah,
there,
Dawn Staley.
you are one of the GOATs of our games, and we
Yeah.
appreciate you.
We love you, Dawn Staley.
I don't want my legacy to be, oh, Caitlin won X amount of games or Caitlin scored X amount of points. It's, I hope it's what I was able to do for the game of women's basketball. I hope it is the young boys and young girls that are inspired to play this sport or dream to do whatever they want to do in their lives.
So keep that in mind, what Caitlin's ambition is. Her ambition is to bring out the best for young kids and to be remembered for trying to do that. So as we get into more understanding, what happened to Caitlin when she came into the WNBA? These are some of the things. This is the most memorable one that we remember. It's a game against Chicago Sky when she faced Kennedy Carter in the Chicago Sky. Now watch this. That Kennedy Carter didn't get called for a foul. This happens all the time. This happens all the time, even today. That's what we remember. So the young lady that came from Iowa, and she also set many scoring records her first year. She set 62 records in the WNBA her first year. Her first year. So what else has happened to Caitlin? So we have other instances that took place. This here, for example.
This is excessive.
It looked like it was an accident.
She got hit by Sheldon.
Then it was the aftermath of
And then Marina Marbury incident, she had a great game the other night, 53 points.
Be there for her team.
And watch this.
This is
JC, now Caitlin's constantly getting hit like this.
when J.C. Sheldon originally hit Caitlin Clark, but then it was the
Now, I just want to say something. Now, you may say, Doc, I thought you said these black girls were beating up on Caitlin. Well, I'm going to tell you something like this. This is how that works. When a lot of girls that aren't black, a lot of women that aren't black, they tend to ascribe to, excuse me here, I got to get this right, get this out of here. They tend to ascribe to issues that are very indicative of black population. We often hear talking black, talking white. A lot of the white female basketball players are down. They pick up those skills and those traits, and it also helps their acceptance by the black females, so to speak. Not all of them. Some of them have great identity. They don't need to go into this kind of thing to be like the majority of what the women are doing. So here's another clip from another angle of Caitlin in that hotel with Marbury. Now, Marbury's a great player. Can't take nothing from her. This is another angle. Sheldon hits Caitlin in the face. None of Caitlin's teammates are there to help her, pick her up, or nothing. Just looking. I mean, I just didn't get this. I just watch this. Boom, foul. Throw on the ground. Nothing happened in that game to Marina Mabrey. And they want to blame Caitlin for that. You can't make this stuff up, folks. So here we have a situation where this is happening. It makes no sense, not at all. not to me, not to anyone. So then I'm going to show you one more clip, okay, that I think will make a lot of sense to you. This here was one of the most recent ones. This was with Tiffany Hayes. And Caitlin, this is this year. Caitlin is, Caitlin just fired another tray in her face. Tiffany Hayes decided to get salty, but she had it just like against Sheldon. You had Sophie Cunningham. Caitlin said, "You don't want none of this heat," and just playing basketball. Tiffany didn't like that. White girl showing her up, but Caitlin's just playing basketball. Other people make other issues out of it, and I'm just saying. I just kind of see it like this. A lot of Black females, of course, grew up, saying, you don't want that white girl to beat you. You gotta don't let that white girl outshine you, so to speak. There was another player like this named Michael Jordan. And I'm going to share with you what some people said. Now, there's some language in here that you may, I don't really talk like this. I understand it. But I want you to listen to this clip here.
Detroit had Jordan rules just for Michael.
We had to do everything from a physicality standpoint to stop him.
I don't know how you came out of it alive.
When he was in the air,
Let me get this straight here. This is not coming up right. Oh boy. Just bear with me. We'll get back to it. Here we go. Here we go. Well, you heard part of it. Anyway, it's a clip here with Jordan. They're talking about Michael Jordan and what they had to go through with when Jordan came to the league, and they developed these different rules called the Jordan rules. I won't be able to pull it up, I think, but I just want you to get an idea about this whole aspect of the NBA, and they developed these Jordan rules to try to protect Michael. You couldn't throw him around like the Detroit Pistons were doing. So what does all this mean? I think this article just came out today. So we're going to try to look at this. So this article came out. Just want to share this with you. This is actually, I don't really listen to this channel, but I think this was really good that Fox News covered this, and this is what they
50 plus exercises, only one home Pilates.
I don't know about that.
Non-slip, soft and durable equipment.
Just kind of
strengthen and tone your body at home.
Pilates, okay. All women have to do that, I
way to
guess.
work out.
Okay. Y'all get your groove on. A little Pilates here. Okay. Okay. So here we go. So let's look at the article and forget about all that other stuff. Let's look at this article I wanted to share with you. Um, so we have here 3 years into her WNBA career. Most people still can't have an honest conversation about Caitlin Clark, so we're going to have right now. So Clark emerged as a phenom during her junior season at Iowa. Very few people had negative words to say about her. That changed during the tournament, and that's when Angel reached in the whole hand thing when you can't see me, you can't see me, that gesture, and made her famous. So that taught criticism online from a lot of people. So from the moment for a new narrative took place, okay, Clark for the gesture because more backlash than Clark is for just because she is black. At this point, Clark was no longer just the sport's biggest star. She became a symbol in a broader culture argument about race. That's what needs to be understood. Like it says here, she's a white girl from Iowa. She's entered to WNBA predominantly white girls. There's that scene again with Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. And then here we go. As Clark's popularity grew during her rookie season, critics increasingly attributed it to whiteness rather than talent. You often hear about this white privilege, but Caitlin played the game, but she practiced relentlessly. So that's what I think the problem is that we have right now. People just looking at her having all this because her color of her skin. That's not it at all. The girl can flat out ball. And then when you get into she's like I just pointed out, when this white girl, like what she did to Tiffany Hayes, dropping a tray in her face, and all of a sudden can't let this white girl beat me thing. And then it gets into that racial thing. And a lot of black women already feeling kind of one way. And then you throw in that a lot of the black women are lesbian and they have that issue going on that they feel they're being criticized for. I go back to Rodney King. Why can't we all just get along? This has got to stop. This brutality, this hitting this young woman, this hitting her, and then talk to the biggest stars in American sports over the past 3 decades of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams, Patrick Mahomes, and Floyd Mayweather. That is not exactly profound with sports culture searching for the next great white hope. Even though we know that Tiger Woods had his Asian blood in him and black blood, but then he falls under the one drop rule too. So, but then then you get into the other critics talk about Aja Wilson. I don't know I call her Aja. Okay. So then you have Nikola Jokic gets into a lot of controversy, so on and so forth. Here's some other shots where Caitlin has been hit. It's just one thing after another. You all get the drift. You get the drift. So Caitlin Clark, she's had more flagrant fouls committed against her than anybody ever in WNBA already. But Caitlin has never said anything bad about another person. I like this here. The New York Times reporter asked Clark twice whether she had an obligation to speak on behalf of Black women in the league. ESPN commentator David Dennis Jr. argued Clark has a moral obligation as a white woman to defend Black women, even if they were the ones hard fouling her. It doesn't make sense. That's where they're taking it another step. I'm going to get beat up, but I'm going to tell you that I love you. Makes no sense. And Caitlin, she's a good person. She's acknowledged her privilege, so on and so forth. I know where she lived at in West Des Moines, that area. So we have here an issue that has to get dealt with. We can no longer witness these kind of things. I just want to bring to everybody's attention that Caitlin Clark has experienced some incredible uh, physical aggression, that has to be stopped. So it's up to us, people, to make this world a better place, so to speak, even in the WNBA. I just want to leave you with trying to have a better understanding of the racial constructs that exist here. That we have Caitlin going through these things. I mean, as I said, I was so sad and angry watching her on the ground like that. And I don't have the clip of it, but there was a WNBA referee right in front of it that saw it and did nothing about it. Called no foul, because there's a lot of controversy going on right now regarding are these refs on the take, so on and so forth. We know one thing: they need to get better. They need to get better. There's no excuse for anybody going through what Caitlin is going through. I know they won that game against LA Sparks the other night, but guess what? If you watch that game, nobody was guarding them. I know Kelsey Mitchell got 26 points or 29 points, but nobody was guarding people. People were driving, doing like a layup drill. Caitlin, even Stephanie White made it in her interview. She said, Caitlin, she says, she's a generational player, a WNBA star. That's the first time Stephanie White said any complimentary things about Caitlin. Caitlin shot that winning shot against was it Portland or the Washington Mystics? She didn't even shake Caitlin's hand. Didn't mention it in the locker room after the game. I'm not sold on Stephanie White, folks. She can do more. But after that game against the Sparks, she was in the locker room with Harris, complimenting her and everything else, how great everybody was. She's never had that kind of enthusiasm or celebration for Caitlin Clark. I wish Caitlin would leave the Indiana Fever. I wish things would get better. But I pray that these women quit attacking her, assaulting her. And for the Black women, understand, Caitlin did what she did to help everybody in that league. She saw the injustices and discrepancy. And because of her notoriety, because of her draw to the game, she was able to get things negotiated. Don't get it twisted. The reason people are where they are right now is because of Caitlin Clark. For 30 years, you had other people playing. And I was a big fan of the WNBA when Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, even Swoops when she played. And I quit watching the game because it was not interesting. But when Caitlin, of course, I follow her all the way from Iowa. That's also one of the graduate schools that I went to, my alma mater. So, but she can ball out, and she had an enthusiasm and a compassion for other people. So I just wanted to share with you today that we have a generational talent. She's being abused, and she's having a situation. And this is what I say, due to all this negativity, we need to gong it out of here. Y'all hear that? Gong it out of here. Gong it out. Chuck Berry told us about that. If it's not any good, you gong it. That's what I say. Get it out of here. So I thank you all for joining me today. And God bless you. God keep you. And God willing, we'll be together again. I know it's been a little absence from me, but I'm glad to be back and see y'all soon. Peace out.